Hello everybody, today we have the Transformers Combiner Wars Unite Warriors version of the Aerialbot Slingshot. As you can see, with the Unite Warriors version of the toy, you get Slingshot in its original Generation 1 colour schemes. Obviously the robot himself is updated into the Combiner Wars variant, but the colour scheme even harks back to his original version. As you can see, it comes with a couple of weapons on him. They do look a little bit, particularly this one is a little bit out of place. Obviously, as common with all Combiner Wars combiners, these are the actual, the hands or the feet of the combiner. And they use them as a gun in the interim stages. Looks alright on this side, not so good on that side. Unfortunately, that's the side you mostly see in robot mode, so never mind. That's a common flaw, one could say, with all the Combiner Wars toys. And he also comes with another gun. I hesitate to use the word unique to himself because it is, or rather, Fireflight has a black version of this. However, it's quite a decent gun. So if we remove them out of the way, what you're left with is the actual Slingshot toy himself. As you can see, it's quite faithful to the original scheme, the original G1 version as well. Clearly a Harrier jump jet. Looks really good as well. The flare-ins on here are nice. It's got some good level of detail in the mould. The intakes are quite good, and I do like the fact that they all come with landing gear now, which I don't believe any of the originals did. As I said before on previous ones, and as I'll say in future ones, the feet are a letdown. They totally don't move. So from the rear, they're not too bad, but from all other angles, it's painfully obvious that their feet, if they just rotated up this way, they'd make a nice streamlined shape and it would look so much better. Unfortunately, they haven't, so yeah, I'll go on about it, but not for too long. So, in terms of transforming into robot mode, the Aerialbots are all very, very similar in the way they transform. It is quite simple as well, which sometimes can be a bit of a change. Begin with just by flipping up the wheel, get that out of the way. We also just going to flip the tail fin up like that and flip these fins as well up. So the legs themselves actually break apart in the middle. Well, they break apart in both middle parts, so in the middle there, and also the legs actually come apart like that on both of them, and then they flip. And then you can flip them down around. Now when you're flipping them down, what you need to make sure you hit, it helps to have that bit like there. You've got this tab here, goes into there, and then you've got another hole there which goes into a tab there. So once you hook both in, like so, sometimes it clicks, sometimes it doesn't. To be honest, it's quite nice when it just clicks, then you know it's in and it's secure. Same thing again here. Click in. And that's the feet done now. Just make sure that's out of the way. As you can see, we're not that far away from a completed toy. Just going to move the head up now, so that flips up like that, rotates back there. Again, you've got two tabs there, and they're not really holes, but you can see quite clearly where they go. So that rotates like that, and in. These wings just flip up. Arms come up. So you want to make it so that you have the shoulder above the chest. Up again, they do move round, and then finally rotate the head round. And there we have him. That is Skydive. Is it Skydive? No, Slingshot, but in all his glory. We'll just give him his weapons now. So you've got his, I'm going to call it a unique gun. I know, as I say, there's a redeco of it out there, but I'm still going to call it a signature gun, perhaps. And finally, his extra cannon from Superior. Okay. The cannon weight does make him a little bit unstable, but not too much. There we go. As you can see, he's really true to his G1 colours, even to the point of the orange on the head. Looks a very good toy as well. If we just bring him closer, good sculpt in there. He's even got slightly different coloured orange glasses or sunglasses, so you actually see those. You've got nice configuration of the detail in there. Aerialbot symbol there this time, so that it shows up against the red. And I have to say, compared with Air Raid, the black part here, which is the basis of his transformation, doesn't look quite as bad. Again, it's a bit of a shame it's not red. This colour scheme doesn't continue, so with the blue and the red, that would have been quite nice to colour it in. But because it's black, it doesn't look quite as odd. Whereas in Air Raid, it was really obvious what it was. Height-wise, we compare him against G1 Commemorative Edition Prime and Power Master G1 Dreadwind. He's a little bit shorter, but that's right as well, because the Aerialbots are always a little bit shorter in height than the main figures. But he's not too much shorter, so when you had the original guy, he was kind of about that height, so he feels more on par with them, and that makes for a better robot when he transforms into Superion. Transformation-wise then, he's very simple to do, as we saw. The detail is good range of flexibility, particularly in the arms. So you can do all of that kind of movement. Waist, he does have a waist, but because of the way it goes, the joints, mainly for Superion, they do look a little bit funny. Knees have got quite a good movement as well, good range of movement too. All in all, he's considering, I know they're not the most expensive toys out there, not on the scale of the Masterpiece toy, but they are good range of movement, and the head moves as well. It does have some up and down, mainly up movement rather than down, and left to right as well. It works well. The colour schemes are good, particularly the plain mode. I am disappointed in the feet. There's no getting away from that, but I suppose that's the trade-off. The hands, can't plug that. Hands don't do anything, unfortunately. They are just a moulded piece of plastic. Nevertheless, it works well. The design is good, the colours are good, the manoeuvrability, the posability is good, and while much could be said about the hands and feet of the combiners, at least they have a purpose. You can do something with them when they're not combined, so you don't lose them. There isn't any excess kibble as a result. Everything is built into the toy, and that's something to be pleased of for as well. Worth getting? Yeah, you want to get him, you want to make Superion, so you're going to have to for that. Worth getting as a toy in his own right? I guess so. It's nothing spectacular compared with what we're used to now. If you compare him to what we had back in the 80s, it's night and day, but nothing spectacular with what you get now. That said, it's a good toy. It's a good representation of the character. It's a good combiner. Aside from the feet, and perhaps the fact that this isn't the best colour scheme in the world, there isn't anything wrong with him. You wouldn't look at that and go, that doesn't look right, or I really don't like this. And to be perfectly honest, in robot mode, the feet are absolutely fine. That's how they should look. It's only in aircraft mode they look a bit stupid. Even when he's combined with Superion, they look fine as well. It's literally just aircraft mode. So if you had him standing there like that, what would you say is wrong? Just that little bit of colour in there. And that's nothing really. In fact, you could colour that yourself. I wouldn't suggest doing that, but you could if you wanted to. It's a good toy, definitely worth having. A better representation of Slingshot than the original toy? Well, depends what you mean. Is the original toy the definitive version of Slingshot, or is it his comic book appearance? If you go for the comic book appearance, then yes, it definitely is a better version of Slingshot, in that he can actually move his limbs up and down, and he looks much, much more like the comic incarnation of him, as opposed to the toy version, which, shall we say, it obviously looks like him, but it's not quite as detailed. So there we are. That is the Combiner Wars version of Transformers Aerialbot Slingshot, and this is the Unite Warriors variant, which has the original colour scheme. Thank you very much for watching. Please leave any other comments, click on the other links, and we'll see you for the next video. Thank you. Goodbye.